People might wonder, what the title is all about, but, we see a lot of people talking about, one police involved shooting is too many, one overdose is too many, one suicide, whether it's from the veteran community or civilian community, is too many, on and on and on. But for some reason, all the people on the left keep pushing it. No, I'm not picking on everyone on the left. For anyone that's listening, I'm not picking on everybody. But everyone keeps saying, why do you guys support this stuff? And they keep calling us Nazis, and they keep, throwing all their bullshit around. And tonight, whenever the fuck you're listening to it, I'm going to be nice enough to explain it for everybody. So, welcome to the Jesse Rosinski Show. So, like I just said, we've all seen, if you're on social media for a long time, I've had a lot of conversations with people about how they feel about ICE and what they're doing and everything else, no matter the constitutional law, no matter what arguments I make. People are allowed to have their opinions. They're allowed to have their feelings. But the feelings don't match up with the law. And I'm tired of being called, white supremacist, Nazi, and everything else just because I want them to enforce the law. And they say that this shouldn't be happening. Well, we have laws, but none of that ever seems to make a difference. The argument never seems to be made enough for them, for all of you. I mean, and again, I'm not picking on all liberals. I'm not picking on all people against it, because there's some people that are against it in some instances. There's some people that have feelings based on everything. And, you can have feelings. I'm not telling you not to have fucking feelings. You're humans. In fact, it's better for all of us as a race, as humans, human race, humankind, mankind, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to have feelings. Bad things start happening when we stop feeling. But I've been called a lot of things. A lot of other people have been called a lot of things. If you're on the left and I know you, thank you for listening. Well, because I promise you I'm going to make the point for everybody when they're all like, why do you guys support this? I'm going to break it down for you today. I'm going to tell you a whole lot of reasons why. Right here, what I even took notes to make sure I quoted everything properly and, didn't say anything out of line, just to sound like a jackass. But I promise you, it might not change your opinion, but at least you'll fucking understand why we support this shit. Hell, a lot of the shit you probably never even fucking heard of, because no one pushes it in the media. No one mentions any of it. It's just Orange Man bad. Look what they're doing. Fascism, like all the stupid shit. And, everyone can say whatever they want. But all this stuff will at least, no matter what, it might not change your opinion, but you'll at least understand where we're coming from. And hopefully, it opens some eyes. If you guys didn't hear any of this, it's not nice, but you'll at least get it. Okay, that sounds fair enough. So, everyone, let's get to this shit that I don't want to do, starting with this shit right here on my phone, because, well, I found it after I printed everything, and I didn't find the need to retype everything, but here we go. Jeremy Puo Caceres and his mother, Rosa Caceres, who was around 17 to 19 years old at the time, were walking near the Bedford Station apartments on the 1400 block of Kanawha Street, likely pushing him in a stroller when they were caught in the crossfire of a gang-related shootout. The incident stemmed from a dispute reportedly involving drug-dealing territory, where multiple individuals opened fire. Stray bullets struck the toddler, who was fatally wounded and later pronounced dead at the hospital, and his mother, who was shot in the leg but survived with non-life-threatening injuries, even though she has that on her brain the rest of her fucking life. Police arrested several suspects in connection with the shooting, including Johnny Alejandro Turquios, around 28 to 29 years old, a Maryland resident from the area, who went on trial in 2020, fined Israel Fuentes Jr., Nilson Granados Trejo, a 25-year-old Salvador national, who was in the U.S. illegally. ICE confirmed he had a deportation order from 2022, but had been released twice by Montgomery County authorities in 2023, despite detainers on unrelated theft charges, which gets me back to, if they just cooperated, these people wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't have any of these fucking things, but sanctuary cities. Others included 2 teenagers and a driver of a stolen vehicle used in the incident. That 2-year-old should be alive. His mother shouldn't have been struck. They shouldn't have been here. You can say whatever you want, but it's true. But we get to this one, which hits a lot closer to home. It's where I recovered after I got hit by a truck, and I really thought everything was done. Thought the lights were out, no one was coming home, game over. But Pitt County Sheriff's Office, let's see, we got deputies responded around 3:16 a.m. to a reported assault at a residence on 200 Lewis Street in the Cherry Oaks neighborhood. It was determined to be a violent home invasion involving at least 3 suspects. The male victim was allegedly restrained, brutally beaten, included with a sharp or jagged-edged weapon, with reports of severe injuries like ripped fingernails in some accounts, kidnapped, restrained against his will, and subject to forcible sexual offense described as sodomy/rape or equivalent first-degree forcible sex offense. The victim was hospitalized with serious injuries but survived. Suspects and arrests. 2 of the primary suspects arrested shortly after were identified as undocumented immigrants. Jonathan David Garcia Lario, 20 years old, described as homeless, previously deported from the U.S. in 2024, and Zaid Mayan, 21 years old, resident of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. A third suspect, John Carlos Calderon, 22 years old, from Greenville, was arrested on February 17th or 18th of 2026. All 3 face serious first-degree felony charges, including first-degree burglary, first-degree kidnapping, first-degree forcible sex offense, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious harm and injury. They're being held without bond. ICE has lodged detainers on the 2 undocumented suspects, confirming their immigration status with prior entry issues. The DHS described it as a real-life nightmare involving sexual perverts and violent thugs, highlighting the torture elements. This case has drawn significant attention in conservative media, and not enough. Not enough. It'll never be enough, because we could say as much as we want. It's not going to make it into the mainstream media, which is why I tell everybody, turn the shit off. They're not here to tell you anything. They're just here to spin you up. And that's just 2 right there. And, you know, if you can't understand why we think that all of them should be gone, again, why is one of everything else enough? But this, 1 2-year-old isn't enough. Or one person getting, man getting assaulted and raped in his own house during a violent home invasion with 2 or 3 people being here illegally. Like, if we could save one of those people, that should be enough. But sadly, the list goes on. If you see me slow down, that's because I'm trying not to wear my glasses for those on video, so they don't see the glare. But all of these you can go and find are sourced from thecentersquare.com and congress.gov, as long as dhs.gov and wow, which is the worst of the worst, .dhs.gov. But here's some cases that I know didn't make really any headlines the way they should because of what happened. Kayla Hamilton, 20 years old, Aberdeen, Maryland, raped, tied up, and strangled with a phone cord by an MS-13 gang member from El Salvador in 2022. Rachel Morin, 37 years old, mother of 5, Bel Air, Maryland, attacked on a trail, raped, beaten, and strangled by an MS-13 gang member from El Salvador who illegally entered multiple times. Body left in a drainage culvert in 2023. Maria Gonzalez, 11 years old, Pasadena, Texas, beaten, smothered, undressed, and sexually assaulted by a Guatemalan national. She fought back, losing fingernails and biting the perpetrator between the years 2023 and 2024. They don't have a better date than that. Jocelyn Ngari, that should be one that everyone should have heard of, but I know I didn't hear it come out of anyone's mouth on Left with All the People I See. 12 years old, Houston, Texas, lured, sexually assaulted, strangled, and bound by 2 Venezuelan nationals found without clothing from the waist down in a bayou in 2024. Laken Riley, who no one would even stand for when they did the act at Trump's first, State of the Union in his second term. No one on the left stood, no one could clap, no one could actually be just a human being, even for the fact that it happened. But Laken Riley, 22 years old, nursing student in Athens, Georgia, attacked while jogging on a university campus, assaulted with intent to rape, beaten to the point of disfiguring her skull, and suffocated by a Venezuelan national in 2024. Molly Tibbetts, 20 years old, Brooklyn, Iowa, Attacked while jogging, sexually assaulted and stabbed to death by a Mexican national in 2018. Marilyn Ferris, 64 years old, from Santa Monica, California, an Air Force veteran and contractor at Vandenberg Air Force Base, brutally attacked in her home on July 24, 2015, sexually assaulted, including rape and penetration of a foreign object, tortured, strangled, and beaten with a hammer, which resulted in shattered eye sockets and a broken neck. She passed away on August 1st of 2015 from her injuries, including a coronary embolism. Victor Aureliano, also reported as Victor Aureliano Martinez Ramirez, a 29-year-old undocumented Mexican migrant with priors who was released from custody shortly before the crime because the jurisdiction didn't honor the ICE detainer, which would have got rid of him, charged with first-degree murder, rape, torture, and related crimes alongside co-defendant Jose Fernando Villagomez. Megan Boss, 37 years old, Illinois, found decapitated and hidden in a bleach-filled storage container after being reported missing. Allegedly concealed and abused post-mortem by Mexican national in 2025. 14-year-old girl in Louisiana raped at knife point in a park. Involved in related stabbing robbery by Honduran national in 2025. Dakara Thompson, 19 years old, Maryland, raped, beaten, strangled, and her body thrown off a bridge. All right, it just keeps getting fucking worse. Juan Alvarado Aguilar, Mexico, accused in January 2026 of killing 19-year-old Skylar Provenza and 20-year-old Fletcher Harris in Rowan County, North Carolina, via DWI crash after crossing double yellow lines. So there's DWI stuff happening in these. Julio Cesar Herrera Gonzalez from Honduras, charged in August 2025 with vehicular manslaughter after killing Raquel Lorena Sarabia Barajas and severely injuring her husband in Nashville. Jashanpreet Singh from India caused a 2025 crash, killing 3 people while driving an 18-wheeler while under the influence in San Bernardino, California, where he shouldn't even have the fucking license, but let's not get started on that. Edwin Pacheco Meza, Honduras, charged in 2025 killing of Michael Clayton, a county board member, and his wife Gail Clayton in Illinois via DUI crash. Raul Luna Perez, accused in July 2025 of killing Maria Plites and her 11-year-old daughter in Lakewood, New Jersey, with blood alcohol content over 3 times the legal limit. Eduardo Parra Corral allegedly killed 27-year-old Jasmine Faith Carpio in Green Lake, Colorado at extreme speed while drunk in November of 2025. And again, sources from all of this: ice.gov, dhs.gov, wow.dhs.gov, congress.gov. Stuff from around all of that. Now we get to some of the worst of the worst, shall we? It's a quick list, because everyone keeps arguing against ICE getting rid of people, and we need to keep stopping them. Let's get on to some of this, shall we? Juan Batista Garcia, Iranian, convicted of rape, sexual sodomy. Desmond Emmanuel Woodburn, he's Mexican national, convicted of homicide, among other offenses, like assault and drug charges. Gabriel Numbi Mwepu, Cuban, convicted of homicide, aggravated assault, robbery, and related crimes. Mahad Abdulkadir Yusuf, Somalian, arrested December 31st, 2025 in Minneapolis, convicted of first-degree criminal sexual assault, which is forcing oral sex on victim multiple times, plus prior assault and obstruction charges. Jose Reyes Leon Duras, convicted child rapist and international fugitive. ICE attempted arrest in June 2025 in Colorado, but evaded initially due to activist interference. But don't worry, they got him on June 27th, 2025. They finally got him. Jefferson Pineda de Velasquez, El Salvadorian, convicted of aggravated sexual assault of a child in Travis County, Texas. Israel Kobe and Sandoval, Mexican national, convicted of homicide in Chicago. Edgar Allan Becquerel, Mexican national, convicted of aggravated assault of a child and sexual assault of a child in Guadalupe County, Texas. Kevin Sosa Ayala, Honduran, convicted of statutory rape in Sumner County, Tennessee. Luis Olmeda Quishby Paulison, Ecuadorian, convicted of forcible rape, sexual abuse by forcible compulsion, rape, anal sexual contact with incapable person, unlawful imprisonment, forced touching, and related sex offenses in Brooklyn, New York. Eduardo Garcia Cortez, Honduran, convicted of murder in Los Angeles County, California. Jesus Acosta Icarando, Mexican national, convicted of rape by force/fear, sodomy of a minor, and related offenses in California. Jaime Briseno Resendez, Mexican national, convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14 and lewd acts with a minor in California. Jose Alejandro Alvarado, El Salvadorian, convicted of sexual assault of a child, arrested in Minneapolis during Operation Metro Surge, even through all the fucking stupid. And let's get some more recent ones. Just fuck it, as apparently nothing's going to click with anyone. If you're still with me, thank you, because this isn't fun. But it needs to be said, because apparently a lot of people missed it. Suspect, Kenneth Moreno Guzman, 26-year-old Mexican national, allegedly forced entry into the back of a mobile home in a trailer park where he also resided. They did not know each other. Reportedly raped an 11-year-old girl at knife point in a bedroom she shared with her 10-year-old sister. The 10-year-old sister was held at knife point during the attack, and Guzman claimed he was attracted to the girl. Charges include rape, statutory rape, aggravated child molestation, aggravated sodomy, cruelty to children first degree, home invasion first degree, burglary, false imprisonment, 2 counts of aggravated assault with a knife, multiple counts of possession of a knife, and the commission of a crime. And I can keep going all day and night. Keep going forever fucking with it, because it never fucking ends. Any of it. In fact, that gets me to our fun friends in California and Gavin Newsom and the shit. Mesmerizing shit that just happened, but let's go with this. California's failure to honor ICE detainers has resulted in the release of 4,561 criminal illegal aliens since January 20th. The crimes of these aliens include 31 homicides, 661 assaults, 574 burglaries, 184 robberies, 1,489 dangerous drug offenses, 379 weapons offenses, and 234 sexual predatory offenses. You know, the bad hombres, the people that they said they're going after, they had detainers and they let them go. And they have the plan, apparently, of letting the other 33,179 or so that they have detainers on for ICE to get and get rid of. It includes 399 homicides, 3,313 assaults, 3,171 burglaries, 1,011 robberies, 8,380 dangerous drug offenses, 1,984 weapons offenses, and 1,293 sexual predatory offenses. And again, this shit just keeps going over and fucking over and over and over and over and over and fucking over again. And like I said at the beginning in the intro, if one overdose is too many, one person getting killed by a drunk driver is too many, one person killing themselves, sadly, and being taken from this planet is too fucking many. How many times does this shit have to happen before people start fucking waking the fuck up and stop fucking interfering with shit and just letting people get rid of these people? Because believe it or not, they've rescued a whole lot of fucking children, done a lot of really good fucking things inside of all the fucking stupid, because they're in charge of that stuff too. That never gets fucking said. I mean, Jesus Christ, we got, 11-year-olds in there? Having the worst day of their fucking life. People being decapitated, people being thrown off of bridges after being sexually assaulted. People's homes being invaded. People getting held at knife point while their sibling is having the worst day of their life ever happen. You can't be compassionate and caring and all these other fucking things that everyone says they are. You can't. And be defending any of them being out in the streets doing anything. And guess what? If no one was out in the streets, nothing stupid would have fucking happened. Look at the rest of the country outside of Minneapolis. They're going after people like that. If you're really compassionate, where the fuck's your compassion for, I don't know, Laken Riley or anyone, Jocelyn Nungari or anyone else? And think, that's just 5 pages. We can keep going and going and going and going with the shit that no one ever talks about on the fucking left. The media doesn't do it. Nothing. People are being killed by people that shouldn't even be here. So you know what? I think if one suicide's too many, one overdose is too many, one police-involved shooting is too many, one anything is too many, one American citizen being tortured and murdered by someone that shouldn't fucking be here is too fucking many. And guess what? Bye. It's common fucking sense. It's not that fucking hard. If you don't think it is, I'm sorry. But you know what? I was nice through that whole entire fucking thing. And if you don't hear that and understand why the fuck we think that we should just be getting rid of everyone because God knows who else is here, and the people like California shouldn't just be dumping people on detainers saying see you later, bye, just so they can't get them. Like, that's how this shit happens. Remember, but right there, we already went over one. Just in that short list. People that had detainers from ICE, and they're like, no. And they released them, and then they did dumb shit and killed someone else. Is what, this isn't a racist thing. This isn't a Nazi thing. This isn't white supremacist shit. That is, if one is too many of everything, one American citizen child going through any of that is too fucking many. They blew their shot. They all need to fucking go. I'm sorry. Stop interfering with ICE. Stop, interjecting yourself in everything. Let them enforce federal fucking laws. If there weren't so many of them led in the last couple of years, we wouldn't be dealing with this right now. It's been happening for years. They've been trying to get rid of them. All the local jurisdictions work with everyone that's not the Trump administration. And they're like, here you go. Trump's in charge. They just start, over 4,000. California released with a plan to get rid of the other 33,000 too, just so they can't get them, even though they're criminals, rapists, everything else. I'm sorry. Take your hatred of fucking one man out of it and use that compassion you say you have. And that's humanity. Because what I just said shouldn't happen to fucking anybody, especially someone that shouldn't even fucking be here in the first place. Their lives mattered. The fact that we make heroes out of stupid motherfuckers, but these people don't even get mentioned, is disgusting. It breaks my heart. It twists my stomach. It pisses me off, and it should piss off everybody in the country, no matter who the fuck you are, because they shouldn't have been here to do that, including the ones that got released, that had ICE detainers, that then went and did dumb shit again. So thank you if you listened through the whole entire thing. If you're on the left especially, thank you. Sorry, well, I stayed calm until the end. But that shit ain't normal. This should be gone, and we shouldn't be fighting with everything along the way just because Orange Man's doing it, because none of you, don't care who the fuck you are, what side you're on, none of you can say any of them should be here after hearing that, because there's a lot more cases I didn't mention.